On today's show, we will take a look at the 5 love languages, and then later we will have Tia Clapper join us to share her testimony. So I have to start my monologue today with sharing this cup that my son made me, Parker Bear, while we were away, and he just wanted me to show everybody. So look at this beautiful cup he did for me. All right, so recently it came to my attention that a guest we had on the show a while ago was making some poor choices that did not align with Christ. And it got me thinking about the guests that we've had on throughout these 4 years. I can think of 3 or 4 that I may say haven't made some of the best choices since they've been on the show. And that breaks my heart to see for sure, and I started wondering, how would our viewers feel if they found out some negative things about a guest that we've had on, or maybe they've seen me somewhere and I'm having an off kind of day. Maybe one of us or one of our guests have said something that you guys don't agree with. So, where does this leave you, and how does it make you feel? My hope is that there is grace. My hope is that there is love. My hope is that there is some understanding that's given. Because the truth is, as much as we want to get it right, as much as we don't want our guests to fall, and as much as we want to always align with Christ, there's going to be times we just get it wrong. And there will be times that our views may differ from your views. It's not the goal, obviously. It's not our heart for this show, and that's what I hope rings true to our viewers. We love sharing with you, bringing up the hard topics and bringing in different guests from all different backgrounds. But not one of us is perfect. We simply will make mistakes. I know for myself, that's where I hope that I can grow and I can learn. Can I learn from others? Yes, I can. Hear me here. I'm not saying that we've had complaints of any kind, and that's been great. It's been actually the opposite. We've had incredible support. It was just a thought that I had. What if people see us or a guest out about and get a different view of who they are than what they saw on the show? This may happen, but we will do our absolute best to glorify Christ in all that we do, but just realize that it could happen. My prayer is, like I said earlier, offer grace. But also, call me up, text me, let's talk it out. I mean, the show is called Let's Talk About It. So I pray you would never stop watching because of one opinion or one guest that had an off day. Always remember, kindness goes a very long way. Ephesians 4:32 says, "Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you." And quite honestly, I think we have some of the best viewers ever, and we are so thankful for all your support. We are just 3 ladies, all with big opinions, always backed by a biblical standpoint. Let's talk about it.
This segment is brought to you by Harry's Construction, whose motto is, "If you can dream it, we can create it." They are the kitchen and bath design experts, so call Harry's Construction for all your remodeling needs.
Welcome back to Let's Talk About It. Ladies, I love this subject because it's just something that I think is important actually, and that I hope most people already know about, but if not, that this would bring some light to it. So we're gonna dig into the 5 love languages a little bit. First of all, there's a book that it's written by Dr. Gary Chapman. He wrote it about the 5 love languages, and they are words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. And we all lean towards one. There might be a secondary one that falls close, but there's always one that we lean towards. So Tracy, what love language do you fall under?
I'm an acts of service, always have been, I think.
Yeah.
It speaks so much to me. I love this is interesting because I know you can like give a love language and then you can also be like, you know, the receiver of. But I think for me, it's actually both. So I love to like go and bless people by doing acts of service. Like if someone's in trouble and or like they need their house cleaned, like those types of things I really love to do. But I also love when my family blesses me with acts of service. So if I come home and like my husband's mopping the floor, I'm like, woo, jackpot. My children know it, so they love to like really bless me that way because it literally will just light up my whole heart and changes the demeanor of like who I am instantly. I don't know what it is, but I love acts of service.
Yeah.
If someone passes away, you know, I love to like bless people with meals or gifts, things like that. Yeah.
How about you, Teresa?
You know, I always, and I do think mine is receiving gifts, and I don't say that because I just gimme.
No.
That, like, I came in one day to my office and unlocked the door, and there was a pack of those Biscoff cookies that you get on planes. I love those things, by the way. Just an unknown fact. But I love those things. And my coworker saw them, and bought me this big pack and laid them on my desk. And they're not like expensive or anything, but when I saw it, like it made my day. Like I was like, oh my gosh, because she saw them and she thought about me. So that's why I like it. But then as I'm studying these things throughout, you know, I think that quality time is a big one for me. And I didn't really realize it till I was reading about it. But like, I like it when my husband and I walk the dogs together, like when he obliges me and says, I'll go with you, you know, because I have his undivided attention and we're outside and there's no one else around. Like, I like it when we go to dinner together and it's just, we're sitting across from each other face to face and we can talk. I like traveling with him. So I feel like that's a close second, if not like, you know, equal with me.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure what yours was because we're, you know, new in this relationship a little bit. But I actually thought yours was the gifts one because you're great at giving gifts.
I like giving things to people and I don't like to just buy something because I would rather not give you a gift on time than to give you something that I bought in haste. I like the gift to match the person.
Yeah.
And that's just how I am.
Yeah.
I don't always, in my family, the only person in my family gives me decent gifts half the time is my daughter. Everybody else, I just get let down. So I've kind of got to find a new love language.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, because I like putting so much into gift giving that I wish people would do the same back to me. Yeah.
And I actually think the two that you mentioned, I lie somewhere in between those two. For me, like receiving gifts is definitely something that I enjoy and I like to do for people. And I acts of service, like you said, if you come home and someone's doing something for you, it's amazing. Like I came home from my cruise and my house was cleaned and it was amazing. So I love that kind of thing. The one thing that's interesting about the 5 love languages is that often our spouse is not in the same category that we are in.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so that then makes it difficult at times because we're like, but this is what we want, you know, and we're not getting that. And then they want something and we're not giving it. My husband is words of affirmation.
Mine is too.
And I could not be further from that. I'm horrible at it. Like, I'm really not good at words of affirmation. And so there's been times I've just had to be intentional, thinking about it and actually, okay, wait, he needs a word of affirmation here and giving it because it's important in relationships, not even just our spouse, but our kids, knowing their love languages and then giving them that fulfillment of that. And it can be very difficult when it's not your love language.
Yeah, it's truly a challenge, I would say. I think my husband is physical touch, but quality time is huge for him. And I am, like, I love when everything's in order. And then I feel as though there's freedom to be like, okay, let's sit down. Let's go for a walk. Let's do these things. So I have to actually purpose, like if things aren't in order and I don't feel like my house that's typically just like the house, right? Or like the schedule of the children, like where everyone needs to be. If I feel a little overwhelmed with, like, I don't have that organized yet, and he wants to sit and talk, I feel like I actually purposely have to choose to like shut all that down and really engage, because he's like, I need you right now. I need to process with you. You're my person. And so it is for me. I mean, that is like one of those times where it's like, I have to make that conscious choice to really pay attention.
I found when I was looking these up and rereading them, because it's been a minute, like I knew what they were, but it's been a minute, that I just feel like it was revealed to me. God is all of these.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He loves when we
Yes.
praise him.
Yeah.
He loves when we spend time with him. He loves when we give gifts to him, and he is the ultimate gift giver.
Yeah.
Jesus was an acts of service guy. He washed dirty feet, you know.
Right.
Physical touch. God touches us. Jesus touched people when he healed them. Like he wasn't afraid to touch the worst of the worst. Yes. And it just was like, wow, like we migrate towards one, maybe two, but God is all of them.
Right.
He is all of
That
them.
is powerful.
It's powerful to me, very powerful. That just solidifies that he is the ultimate, he's the ultimate lover.
Yeah.
He's
he
the
is.
ultimate lover.
And when you say that, I feel like it's one of those things that should call us all higher, right? So if we're created in his image, then we really should emulate all of those things also to people around us. And it is one of those things where you really have to lay yourself down and your ways and like truly try to, you know, as you spend time with him, like, okay, Lord, rub off on me in these areas. Like allow me to see someone and affirm them with words of encouragement.
Yes.
You know, like give those words to me, communicate to me. Okay, like my youngest she is like a physical touch, but she's like, she's really, really strong. And so when she hugs you, she takes your breath away. You have to anchor yourself to get a hug from her sometimes. And sometimes she just wants to like snuggle and hug. And I have to consciously choose, like, she needs her love tank filled.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I'll be like, okay, hey, I know you need 8 hugs. Have you guys ever heard that? You need like 8 hugs a day to feel loved, or I don't know exactly what, like, I think that's what it is. I think it's 8 hugs a day. So I'll stand there and I'll be like, 1, 2, 3, and I'll try to like build her up. And then her whole entire attitude changes for the entire, like the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I have to choose, I have to slow down. And I have to like, okay, God, I need you to fill me right now, because I need to pour into her and fill her up. That's just one of my 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, like, we have spouses, we have children.
Right. So it's so
Friends.
important that we know our love language, but we also know that we are close to what their love language is, our children, our spouse, our family members. There's a book for marriages, and there's a book for learning your kids' love languages as well. So grab the book, and there are quizzes available too that you can get through Google or whatever to learn your love language if you're not sure what it is, but it's important. So when we come back, we will have our guest for the day.
Since 1929, my family has helped keep your family at home.
Ask for Dick's Home Care.
I don't allow my disability to stop me from living the life I choose. Dick's Home Care has provided me with everything I need to be mobile.
Don't let mobility challenges hold you back. Call today to learn how Dick's Home Care can empower you to live life on your own terms. Call the leader in home health care equipment, Dick's Home Care.
Welcome back to Let's Talk About It, and we have a beautiful guest with us today. I am so excited to have you. So let us know your name and a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Tia. I go by Tia. My name's actually Tia Rose, but usually Tia. I am married, and we are raising 2 teenagers. Currently going to school to get my GED and eventually my LPN.
I think that's awesome. I love hearing that, and I just, she's been with us for a little bit. How long have you been at Transformation Church, or the church that we go to?
Going on 3 years.
3 years, and I have seen such growth in you, and your smile is contagious. And so I just wanted to bring you on to tell us a little bit about your story and your transformation that has happened to you through what God has done in you. And so we're going to go back to the little negative parts of it first, just so people can understand where you came from. So tell us a little bit about that part of your life.
Okay. All right. Well, first, I'm actually adopted into my family. My grandparents adopted me. There were some reasons for that. My biological father was not the best. When I was an infant, he had made a statement that I would be a good piece when I was older. sure we all know what that means.
Right.
So that was spoken over me. So throughout my childhood, there was a lot of sexual abuse. Some was from family and some was from people I thought was friends. And that continued up until my adulthood. Forced into some situations. It was bleak, but you know, I made it, you know.
Yeah. You're here today. Right. Yeah.
Oh God.
So it's hard when I hear things like that happening, especially when you're young, you know, because it does form your identity a little bit as you grow up and who you are. And so what things did you face because of that? What were some of the trials that you went through because of that?
I had no identity. I was just empty. In situations where I was forced into things, instead of fighting it, I just let it happen. Like that was my purpose. When my dad spoke those words, my biological dad spoke those words, I think it somehow formed who I became as a child. Now, obviously, I was a baby, so I didn't know about it, but my biological mother had told me about it. And some other things that happened as I was a child. But from then, it just kind of, I was instantly empty. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh, why not? That's what I was told I was going to be, so why not just let them do whatever they want? And no one believed anyway whenever you do say stuff, especially when you're younger. But
yeah, I always wondered, you know, we always tell people, like, speak up, say something, and then when you do, if people don't believe you, wow, like that breaks you even more.
Yep, and then you kind of stay quiet. And then sometimes you do get some who believe you, but they tell you to keep it quiet. You know, and it's like, well, then why am I supposed to say anything? And I did. I kept it quiet for a long, long time, but it was actually, I tried when I was in my teens, and it blew up in my face. It was a family member, and it just did not go well. So I continued to be quiet and just brushed it under the rug. And I didn't fully, until about last year, I came out and I told my adopted parents, who are my grandparents, some of the details on what had happened.
Jeez. So, you know, this happened when you were a young child and continued as you grew older into your teenage years.
And part of my adulthood, yeah.
And a part of your adulthood. So what would you say was a turning point for you?
A turning point for me, it was kind of random. I was raised in the church, actually, a New Covenant Fellowship.
Okay.
Pastor John Jameson was our pastor. He was a great pastor. He passed away. But when our church fell apart, it was no big deal, because, like, at that time I felt everything was fake because, you know, I was being brushed under the rug and hiding everything. But years passed, and I would go in and out of wanting to be in a church. Like, I always had a relationship with God, but it wasn't like a deep relationship like it should have been. I knew him and always believed in him, but there was no connection. And then a few years ago, I had actually made a post on Facebook about wanting to try to get back to church. But I was church hurt. I actually had a pastor tell me to get an abortion, so I was very confused on that because I thought that was wrong.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Geez.
So, yeah, but then a friend of mine mentioned about coming here. So that was actually a real, not one of them fake turning points, but like a real turnaround and change for me. I came here. It was actually a big, big moment. At first, first 2 times I was here, I was like, whatever, you know, I'll stand and worship. And then Pastor Troy and the worship team did a song called Make Room. You guys know that song, right? And I'll never forget it. In the middle of that song, like, I wasn't raising my hands or anything yet. I was still just in my shell. Let me be in the back. Ignore me, you know what I mean? But I was sitting back there, and my heart started to race uncontrollably. I thought I was going to have an anxiety attack. I was nervous, I guess. And then all of a sudden, it was like this huge, like, 100-pound, like, boulder hit my chest. And when it hit my chest, I physically fell into my seat. And I started crying, but when I was crying, I kept crying, saying, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. And I was, like, just falling apart there in the back of the church. But in that moment, as I was saying, I can't do this, it was like this, I was releasing something. You know what I mean? It was a start for me. It was a change for me. As I cried, I felt lighter. I felt like everything that was ever done and everything that was ever said to me was just coming off. It was a great experience, and it was I won't forget it.
It's a powerful turning point for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love how God does that. He knows exactly when to show up, and he knows exactly how to meet us right where we are.
Yeah.
And so he met you that day. And what has been life like? We know it's not perfect.
No.
We definitely still face things and go through things. But what has life been like since then for you?
It was a struggle. God had me uproot everything. It was a sanctification process. It was a very deep one. It was like from that moment on, stuff that I had repressed was coming up, but every time I faced it, I released it, and I was allowing forgiveness to start to come in. And that was a hard one. Forgiveness is definitely one I struggle with a lot. But I stuck to it, and I would waver back and forth. Like one minute I'd be like, okay, and then I'd be like, no, I don't want to do this. It hurts too much. And then I would keep pushing and keep pushing. And finally, it was actually last Thanksgiving is when I openly admitted that I spoke to some and said, I forgive you. And I did. I meant it. It wasn't just words. It was real. I truly forgave them. You know, I mean, it's a process.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
And stuff still I still get triggered today. Like, like I get real uncomfortable when people come up behind me. That one really triggers me. And I start to get nervous and anxious. But now I know I'm protected. I have someone that's gonna like, hey, wait a minute, listen, this might not be a situation for you. Let's figure out how to get out of this. And it's been good. And I have a peace now. I have this in any moment, because we all go through seasons. We all have bad happening, but even in them, like I know no matter what, God's got me. He had me through all that when I was a kid. Why wouldn't he have me now? And I didn't even have a relationship with him then.
I actually had this thought, like, what, you said you had a relationship with God growing up, but for you, like, what did it look like as a child going through those things and keeping everything suppressed? What would you say your relationship with God looked like in those really dark seasons?
In those really dark times, I knew he was there because I had watched my adopted mother, she's biologically my grandmother. I had watched her, and her faith was very strong, and she would tell me these amazing stories. And I actually remember it wasn't long after something had happened, something bad had happened. I was laying in my bed, and I was just tired. I was always tired. But I was laying there, and I was looking across the room. I had this dresser, and I was just kind of like really just empty. And I don't tell many people this, but I saw the face of Jesus, and I remember screaming to her, I see Jesus, I think she thought I snapped, but I was like screaming, and she came charging in the room, and I'm like hysterically crying, but a mix of like happy. But I mean, I was only about 6 when that happened.
Wow.
And it was kind of like hey, I'm here. You know what I mean? Like you're not here alone. This might be hard, but I'm here. So I was like, okay, at least I'm not alone in this, you know what I mean? And it went from not having an intimate relationship to starting to understand what that type of intimacy is, you know what I mean? It doesn't always have to be a physical, touch, feel-y kind of intimacy, but it's emotional intimacy right there for me.
Wow. That's
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I know.
And
Brings
the
tears
thing
to my
is,
eyes.
like, glory to God, like, seriously.
yeah.
But, like, you're in my prayer group. And I don't know a whole lot about you. Like, we're friends, but not, like, hangout type friends.
Yeah.
And you had made a comment in prayer group one evening, and it was profound. It was like something about, I don't know, about your mom, how you were conceived.
Through rape.
Yes. And that was like, whoa, I did not know that. But when you share those elements of your life, it helps others to understand you better, and it helps us to appreciate your journey. And that night I had you sharing that one very private, personal comment in prayer. It made me appreciate you so much more in who you are as a person. And when I see you at the altar in that same spot, which I'm going to take that spot from you. In that same spot, it really just moves my heart and makes me really, really appreciate the Lord and what he does through people, not just you, but people in general.
Oh, yeah.
So I appreciate you sharing this testimony and allowing us to understand you better as an individual and allowing us to see what God is doing. And God's alive, and He's
Oh, yeah.
doing amazing things. So thank you those are tough stories.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you sharing them with everybody. 'cause
Yes. Thank you
everybody-
so much for coming on today. I can't wait to see what he's going to do next in you, because I do know that he has great plans for you.
Yes.
When we come back, we will have our verse of the day.
Made by Vogel is a father and son business that produces high-quality handmade wooden products such as cutting boards, bowls, bottle stoppers and more. Products for sale can be found on their Etsy site or in downtown Altoona at the Clay Cup. You can't go wrong buying from Made by Vogel.
Next time on Let's Talk About It, we'll discuss having dinner with someone who has passed away, and we'll have our guest, Jessica Ritchie.
For pretty much my entire life, I struggled with infertility issues. About 5 years ago, I felt like God gave me a promise and told me that we were going to have a miracle baby. So my mom passed away March 29th of 2023, and Jordan was born March 29th of 2024.
Oh my.
So exactly 1 year to the day.
All that and more on Let's Talk About It.
Let's take a look at Philippians 4:13 today, a very popular verse that can often be taken out of context. It says, "I can do all things through him who strengthens me." This verse is often used as a promise to achieve any of our personal goals. I've seen it used most often with those involved in sports. They will apply God's favor was with them, thus the win. It's a popular tattoo even. But Paul actually wrote this verse while he was in prison. He wanted to show us the importance to be content in all circumstances, good or bad, and how we must be dependent in Christ and rely on His strength as we face this life. So let's remember that as we surrender and rely on Christ, He can get us through. Now that's a promise that's worth standing on. And until next time, let's talk about it.
Champion Roofing, we're the solution. You can count on the roofing pros. Our roots run deep and our integrity shows. Proud to serve you, we love what we do. With Champion's unbeatable warranties too. Champion Roofing, the champs. Champion Roofing, we're the solution.
Impact Productions, a multi-layer technology company providing on-site, online, and in-studio video services. Contact Impact Productions to capture your story.